Some people may argue, what if the data we use to create our baseline is misleading, incorrect, or incomplete? They may see a baseline as causing more harm than good. However, any data is better than none, and we can gradually improve the quality of our data over time. The diagram on screen is the continual service improvement model we studied in Lesson 3. Let's look at it in the context of baselines. Before you start identifying and making improvements, you need to identify the starting point. In other words, the "where are we now" step. This will be in terms of the services we deliver and the health of the organization that delivers these services. This is the baseline. At the "did we get there" step, measurements and metrics can be compared against the baseline to see if we have been successful in our attempts to make improvements. So, if we didn't have a baseline, we couldn't prove anything. The next measurement area we need to study is value to the business. There are 4 reasons to monitor and measure. You can see them in the diagram on screen. Measure to validate. Monitoring and measuring to validate previous decisions. Measure to direct. Monitoring and measuring to set direction for activities in order to meet set targets. This is the most common reason for monitoring and measuring. Measure to justify. Monitoring and measuring to justify with factual evidence or proof that a course of action is required. And measure to intervene. Monitoring and measuring to identify a point of intervention, including subsequent changes and corrective actions. Let's look at these reasons to measure in more detail. The first reason we measure is to validate. Validation of decisions is required. For example, if we decide to implement a program of changes to improve customer satisfaction, is this validated by appropriate metrics? Are our customer satisfaction survey results poor? Here, metrics will provide validation of our previous decisions. The next reason we measure is to direct. Here, direct really means to direct resources or actions in an appropriate way. Direction could help us, for example, to identify any areas of performance that are causing customer dissatisfaction and therefore afford us an opportunity to address them. Consider an example. Imagine we find that the people contacting our service desk are happy with the time taken to answer the phone, but are not happy with the actual level of first-time fix provided. Here, we can measure to direct where we need to take specific action. In this case, we obviously need to improve the number of calls we resolve at the first line.